Good afternoon, and thank you very much for staying till the end. It's a great way of warming us all up. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about open data and the economic opportunity that there is. Europe as a whole has seen waves of innovation over time, and this was a picture of the one that sprung to me when I was thinking of the slides for him. I thought, coming to Florence, talking. This is a great picture of the Renaissance architecture. Renaissance was a great bit of innovation across Europe. It's where different ideas were taken from different domains, they were combined, and new things came out of it. And it feels like at the moment, what we have a similar thing happen in the data space. We've had a series of talks today from innovators and entrepreneurs in this room, but also on research presented in other forums. And what we have data bringing new insights, new techniques, new tools and approaches in a huge number of contexts. Now, some of that falls under the label of big data, and you can argue whether or not that's a buzzword. Some of it is under Internet of Things and connected devices, and the fact that we can have sensors that are generating huge amounts of data that can then be analysed. And there are all sorts of challenges there around real time and otherwise. And some of it's around open data. And people have used this phrase, open data is the raw material for the digital age. And I just wanted to sort of pause on that for a second. Why do people talk about it as a raw material? Well, it's because you can take it, you can use it, you can incorporate it in your products and services. And unlike traditional raw materials, data is quite special. Data doesn't disappear when it gets used. And it's particularly important for open data because it enables data sets to be joined together. You can think about, sorry, is it possible to get some water? You can think about open data as being almost part of the sort of data infrastructure for this digital age. Because without having open data sets that enable things to be combined, then innovation will continue to be stifled. Now, I've got on this slide that McKinsey estimate there are $3 trillion worth of value worldwide from open data. Now, I personally think that's a very bold statement by McKinsey. I'm glad it's their name, not mine. But even if they're out by an order of magnitude, then that means there's a $300 billion market out there in the world, which can be unlocked through working with open data. And there are a number of ways that I think this market is going to be unlocked. One is from startups and companies taking open data, taking it from a number of different geographies. We've seen the big countries in the G8 commit to an open by default. So we know there's going to be a wealth of data out there, and we know it's going to be around some sort of big core things like transport. And there'll be companies who take that, who will work with it, clean it up, and represent it, and they'll present new insight. And that will be one source of value, because those business models on the slide, ultimately, what is a business model other than finding a new way of solving a problem for someone who will then value it? So, that's one source of value, one source of problem that could be solved. Second one is going to be around combining open data with closed source data to create a better service. Now, that could be through doing things like integrating weather into journey planning, or doing something around traffic flow and optimizing goods to and from warehouses. It might be something completely different. It might be using open data to kickstart a new market, or using the open data to publish the integrity of the product. And the one that I get most excited by is using open data to facilitate collaboration. The wonderful thing about open data is because it is consistently available, and because it's already shared, then you can have right about some of the examples that we've seen in the Open Data Institute in some of these business models coming to market. Because our role in the Open Data Institute is to kind of create these examples, create the environment for other people to be successful with open data. Now, I said the first business model I saw was people taking open data, working with it, refining it, selling on it. And this is one of the startup companies we have at the ODI, a company called Transport API, and they do precisely that. Now, about 5 years ago, the City of London opened up all of its transport information. And they did that in the great belief that if they opened up the data, amazing things would happen and innovation would come through. And fortunately, at least for me, then that did happen. And what this company does is they take the data from London, they clean it up, and they provide out a nice, stable API for other people to innovate with. And to give you an example of some of their customers, they've got customers who use this for live adverts on the side of bus stops. Your bus is arriving, turn off your transport home. But also, Transport for London actually use this data themselves. Because the cost of cleaning and using the data inside Transport for London was larger than the cost of buying the service in from the startup. Because the startup can spread those costs out over the 10, 15, 20 customers that they had about a year ago. It's much more than that. So that's one example of the business model. Next one, I said, was combining closed and open data to provide a better service. And this is Yelp, who are one of the larger companies in my size. They've taken open data around health, the sort of inspection scores of restaurants, and they've combined that with some of the closed data they have on their core platform to provide people with a better experience when they're choosing where they want to go to eat for dinner. So on here you see they've created a health score as part of the information they have about every restaurant. And that's populated through open data, published by the government when they inspect restaurants. And again, this is coming back to you solve a problem for someone who values it, and you've created value. And the problem they're solving here is about giving people informed choice as to where to go for dinner. Open Utility are looking to create a new market. They're looking to create a market in peer-to-peer energy usage. So many more people have solar panels or alternative turbines at home. They're generating electricity, so you have many more small energy producers in the market. It's not the sort of 5, 10, 20 power stations that you would expect in a country. And at the same time, you have people who are much smarter about how they choose their energy. So they thought, well, how do we bring these people together? And as a small new entrant, what they're doing is they're using open data about that market to help bring it to bear. And they're still very, very early stage. So they're doing a trial now with about 1,000 customers. But it's something I'm very excited by, and they definitely wouldn't have got this market off the ground without having open data on both sides of the transaction, because it helps them reduce the risk of all the people that participate. Next example is around provenance. Provenance on people, the goods and services that you can buy is something that is increasingly important to customers. And it's something that can't happen without having showing the data about what you're purchasing and how it's created. So this is another one of our startup companies, Project Provenance. And what they're looking to do is document the integrity of the product, be that jeans, be that food, be that other goods and services, and show how that's come to bear with open data, so you can really trace as a customer how the object that you're buying has been created. And that's really